In here and welcome to the Propel expansion. This is Thursday night, July 9th, and I am thrilled to be here with you tonight. So buckle up, guys. We're going to continue on from last night. We are speaking about your destiny, your vision, your mission, your passion, your purpose. It's all connected. And so tonight we're going to be continuing, as I said, from last night. Last night we spoke about the timing is now, meaning do not procrastinate. Procrastination is really the enemy. It is the enemy. It really holds you back from the destiny that God has for you. It is now. And if you have a vision as small as a mustard seed, that prayer, that hope, that knowingness, all of those aspects take a small step towards it. Every day in every way, take that small step. So it is so imperative. We're going to go through the Propel Business program, the 5 C's: clarity, courage, confidence, commitment, and compassion. They're all linked together, but the first is clarity. You must see it, believe it, and then take action. When the seeing piece is knowing, as you know, in your spirit, could be a dream, that a vision that you've had for years, but the battlefield is in the mind, and you have talked yourself out of it so many times. As you know that it is for you, but yet you have said, I'm not ready, I don't have the funds, I'm not prepared, I don't have the background, all of those lies of the enemy. But you learn from each step. Each step leads you to the next step. Psalm 37. So the time is now to take that step. Tonight, we're going to expand upon that, Propel expansion, with basically timing and talking about God's timing is worth the wait. And really what's so important about that's Habakkuk 2:3, and that revelation that God has given you, meaning back when you were, a teenager, even younger, that you saw, you knew, but you weren't prepared, you weren't ready, all of those things, or life stepped in its way, things that you weren't planning. And hello, 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 welcome to the Propel expansion. I'm Megan DiMartino. It's Thursday evening, the 9th of July, and I'm here for you to help you start, scale, sustain the business and life of your dreams. You have to see it, you believe it, you take action. So if you haven't been here before with me, do subscribe, leave a message as you're doing. It helps others find it, but also ring that bell and you'll get notification when I go live, which is often. Because again, I'm here for you to help you identify your dreams, goals, and desires and take action. I have been in the business world for most of my life. I started working as a young person. I've always been working, but I thought I was going to be a fashion designer. God had a different plan, brought me into the beauty industry in sales and marketing, and then starting my own medical grade skincare line, a clean line, pharmaceutical grade, result oriented. Back in 92, I built it, I sold it. Then I started Novita. Most people say Novita, but it's an Italian word. It means new birth, new life, always something new. But I'm going to expound upon tonight, God's timing is worth the wait. When I started Glycolique, my first brand in 92, I was highly undercapitalized, but I didn't think so, but I was, because it shot off like a rocket because I had done the preparation. Success is when preparation and opportunity come together. And I had paid my dues, and I knew what I was doing, and I was prepared, and I had moved to Texas for a job with Alcon Laboratories from New York, where I'm from, and worked in the beauty industry and the fashion industry for many years before moving to Texas. And I took that job because I knew as I knew it was time to start my skincare line. But back in those days, there wasn't Google or YouTube or websites or podcasts. You could not, or TikTok, you couldn't glean information other than working or surrounding yourself with experts. So when I was offered the job with Alcon, I took it, not because I wanted to move to Texas, but because I knew as I knew it would be a great opportunity to surround myself with very sophisticated chemists, and was able to then ultimately put my skincare brand together based on glycolic acid from the alpha hydroxy fruit acid family and other botanicals and antioxidants and hyaluronic acid and the like. This is a long time ago. So it was really ahead of its time. But that's not what we're going to talk about tonight. It's about, but I had that revelation that, and I got that revelation. I speak about this in my TED Talk in 1973, many moons prior, when I was working in Bloomingdale's in the cosmetic world. And that's what led me to understanding that it was going to be this. I got that revelation. So I prepared, meaning over those years, I worked for other people, other companies, and worked in management and was trained in sales and marketing and things that I needed. So when I started my business in 1992, left Alcon and started my business. And as I said, it shot off like a rocket. Now, that's again a whole other story and a point, but I built it and did very well. And then I ended up selling it to the lab that manufactured it. They kept, asking me over the years, did I want to sell it? And I said no. But finally I decided it would be a good idea to sell it because I could capitalize on it and then start again because I was always so undercapitalized. So I entered that sale agreement, but I worked for them in, meaning I sold it, but I contractually ran it for a year as I paid them through sales. And so it was a great deal for me. They got it. I was able to build it for them, and I was also able to sell, pay for it. But during that year, they were bought out, and the new company didn't want to keep glycolique. Well, the good news was I had already basically had one more payment to make when this happened, and I was able to do that. And I was really preparing to get it out of there and start new. But then they did what's called a hostile takeover. And because then they realized they did the numbers and said, why would we sell this? It does so well. So the real point of the story is this, that my attorney, when this happened, wanted to sue them. And I said, no, I want my money back because it was fraudulent. I mean, they should not have done that. I mean, they could do it, but they shouldn't have done it. And I said, I want my money back. So he said, okay, I will call you when I get to Los Angeles. He was flying from Texas to Los Angeles. He practiced law in both states. So during that, I don't know, half a day, he finally called me back and he said, I was in my day timer. This tells you the time frame, meaning we didn't have phones like we do today, where your phone numbers are in it. And he said, my law school roommate is their head counsel. What? The likelihood of that? Not. And so he basically said, my attorney, that he called him and he shared with he what had happened. And he said, well, what does she want? And my attorney said she wants the money she paid. He said, that's all, because again, I could have sued them for much more for, you know, on and on. And so within a couple weeks, that money was in my account. But, that's not the real point of the story. The real point of the story, guys, is this. I mean, yes, that was traumatic, hardship, all of those words, difficult, just all of those. Heartbreaking, disappointing, all of those things. But I knew God was up to something. And so, I mean, that was supernatural, miraculous that his roommate is the head counsel of this company. So the fact that I was able to have seed capital, so to speak, that's supernatural, that's miraculous, yes. But my chemist who had developed Glycolique, my first brand, said to me, do you want, we were working on re-engineering Glycolique when I got it back new and improved, because it needed more products, updating, and so forth. So I said, I don't know. I have to pray about this. I have to wait on the Lord, trusting him. Do not want to get ahead of what he really has for me. This is the point of the story. So over that next weekend, now we're in around Memorial Day of this year, which was 1997. And I was in my office, and I noticed on my bookshelf that there was a little prayer book that I had when I was a child. And I opened it up, and there was a card in it, like I'd write you a thank you note. And inside the card, I mean, there was a cover, it was a beach scene, and with water and so forth. When I opened it up, it was typed in this little prayer book that I had as a kid. And it said, the call to new beginnings is ringing in the air. It's reaching through the mist of circumstances everywhere. Stand tall, take the first step. The second and third step will be revealed to you. So it's just Psalm 37. And when I was going through the beginning stages of all of this chicanery, I opened my Bible and it brought me to, I said, Lord, give me a word. And it brought me to that. That was several months prior. When all of this began, that's part of the story, but not the final, meaning when they just did that black and white. So I was sitting on the floor, and if I wasn't sitting on the floor, I'd probably fall on the floor, but I was sitting on the floor and I was like, oh my gosh. So I just started talking to God and saying, is this what you want me to do? And so, but obviously, I was going to have to create a whole new line of products because they owned the Glycolique. And that is when Novita was born. Novita, new birth, new life, always something new. That's my promise. But his promise is that his timing is worth the wait. Because you see, it was so much richer, so much more to work with the name Novita versus Glycolique. There were so many things about it that, my vision could go on. It just was, he knew that it was better to, so to speak, get that money back and again, there was legality to it because again, I had paid them the money and but they kept it, so therefore got it back. So God knew that would bless me to start again with capital versus not. But there's so many other pieces to it. So, years later, 30 years later, um, I own the intellectual property of Novitas. Novitas Spa is federally trademarked, which I did, then. On and on and on. I mean, the essence of it. So God knows the vision is for the vision awaits on His appointed time. I wrote, don't stop praying just because you don't see results yet. Don't. Meaning the essence of knowing that, excuse me, that let me say it this way, if I had felt, and so many people do this, guys, so many people, I mean, I've seen it again and again, that when I quote unquote lost glycolic, that I can't do this again. I can't create something again. I can't do it again. Just gave me an opportunity to just evolve again to something that was, and actually it evolved even to a better situation, utilizing that name and everything about it. New birth, new life, always something new. Isn't that not appropriate for skincare? So, I mean, God's plan is always better than ours. So just because you don't see the results yet, don't stop praying. God is working His perfect timing. It will be worth the wait. It will be. And God's timing is never late. Our challenge is that we live on a linear plane and He lives on a universal plane. So we just have to trust Him and know that His plan and His ways are greater than our ways. Truly. So know that He is in the middle of it all. So don't dismiss that clarity. Don't dismiss that vision, that mission. Don't. That dream, that goal, that desire. Don't. That burning desire. That will propel you. That's why I call it the Propel expansion and the Propel program. Because that will propel you. Taking that first step like I had to with that. The first step was I called the chemist and said, okay, let's get going. But the other supernatural miraculous thing, that was Memorial Day, and we got to the distributor trade show first weekend of August. Let me make this really clear. I've done this many, many times, and developing a whole line with name, graphics, logo, trade show booth doesn't take a month and a half, 2 months. 2 months. No. Much longer. So God was, God's speed was there. So when things are the right timing, His timing, He will propel it forward. Trust Him with all your heart. Lean not on your own understanding, because you will talk yourself out of it. Absolutely. I mean, I could say, okay, I'm going to take the money and go back to New York. Could have easily done that. Easily. But it was time to continue on. I just knew that it was not over. I was not finished. And there were so many different segments in my life, my business career, that is truth, that one step led to the next step. I know as I know that you have the same thing, that there are things in your heart that you want to do. You have prepared, maybe school, maybe courses, maybe, commitment to having a coach. I mean, there's myriad of things, but then it got stuck. It got sidetracked. It got waylaid. But that doesn't mean that dream is gone. No, it's there. Let me see who's here. And Rex, let me see here. And sometimes names I can't even read here. Rex and Alex and Grace, Hello, guys. Welcome, welcome. So I've mentioned several times my Propel program. So I have a link tree, and it's Megan. You can find it at propel.megandimartino.com/info. And in it, in the link tree, is my book, Hope and Possibilities. The audio book of it is there as well, the ebook and audiobook. My TED Talk, which I referenced, called Transforming the Human Experience Through Creative Disruption. It's about innovation and my journey. With that, my website, novitaspa.com, and the shopping cart for the Novitas Spa clinical products is there. Um, we have what I call the Propel community. That's free, no charge. Go to that, click on it, and you receive so much. But one is a daily message of inspiration and encouragement. You receive a link to the archives of the podcasts that I started in 20, lots of them, where I interview thought leaders in business and entertainment and arts and creative and authors, speakers, really cool people that you'll really enjoy. We do workshops and summits, and they come through the Propel community. We do bi-monthly newsletters for you. So there's a lot there for you to really glean from and help encourage you and propel your business. Now, the Propel Your Business and Life Activation Program is a 5-module training on the 5 C's. It has 5 workbooks and videos, and then you work with me as well. So if you're looking to work with someone, not just in the beauty, wellness, category, but in business, I'm here for you. Also, in the last 8 years, we've been working in the, almost 9, working in the regenerative wellness space at the Novitas Beauty Regenerative Wellness Clinic. And I also represent this non-transdermal cellular health photobiomodulation, amazing technology. Information of LifeWave Corporation is there. I'd love you to be part of my team. I build teams. I help you build your business. So that is there. So go to propel.megandimartino.com/info, and that is there. So do come back for the next Propel expansion, and we just work through different aspects of the 5 C's, clarity, courage. After you take that step, you build that courage muscle, that builds that confidence that, yes, I can do this. Then commitment is so important in scaling and sustaining a business. And then compassion is compassion for you, because that is one of the most challenging aspects of building a business and a successful life, is giving yourself grace. Grace that, because you will, from the perception of the world is an error, a mistake, whatever you want to call it, but to me they are opportunities to learn and grow. They're gifts. They're just truly gifts. So that is the 5th C, and that is compassion. So we go through all of that with different scriptures and anecdotes, and come back, and I am here for you. And remember, it's never too early or too late to create the life of your dreams. Thank you so much again, and be blessed.